What if I told you that World War I is still killing people today? That there are parts of France so toxic they're forbidden to humans for the next 700 years? Picture this. It's 2023, and a French farmer is plowing his field when his tractor hits something metallic. He stops, digs around it, and unearths a rusted artillery shell from 1917. One wrong move, one spark, and he becomes another casualty of a war that ended over a century ago. This isn't some rare occurrence, it happens dozens of times every year. The Great War, as they called it, left behind a legacy so poisonous, so deadly, that entire regions of France remain off-limits to human habitation. Welcome to the Zone Rouge, the red zone, where the earth itself has become a weapon. When the guns finally fell silent on November 11, 1918, the French government faced a problem unlike anything in human history. Vast swaths of their countryside had been transformed into something resembling the surface of an alien planet. The Zone Rouge originally covered 1,200 square kilometers, an area larger than Los Angeles, stretching across the former Western Front from the Somme to Verdun. But this wasn't just about bomb craters and destroyed buildings. The soil itself had been fundamentally altered at the molecular level. 4 years of industrial-scale warfare had pumped millions of tons of explosives, poison gas, and heavy metals into the earth. The French government created a color-coded map system. Green zones could be reclaimed immediately, yellow zones needed some cleanup, and red zones were deemed uninhabitable. Over a century later, parts of that red zone remain exactly that. Forbidden territory where the French state itself warns, do not enter, do not dig, do not disturb the earth. What makes soil so toxic that it remains deadly for over 100 years? The answer lies in the sheer scale of destruction unleashed during World War I. At the Battle of Verdun alone, an estimated 40 million artillery shells were fired. That's roughly one shell for every square meter of battlefield. But it wasn't just the explosions, it was what those explosions left behind. Each shell contained not just explosives, but heavy metals like lead, copper, and zinc. When they detonated, these metals didn't disappear. They became part of the soil chemistry forever. Add to this the estimated 300,000 tons of unexploded ordnance still buried beneath the surface, slowly leaking their toxic contents into the groundwater. Then there are the chemical weapons: chlorine, phosgene, and mustard gas. Compounds so stable they can remain lethal for decades. The soil didn't just witness death, it absorbed it, becoming a repository of industrial-age poison. That continues to seep and spread with each passing rain. Some places are so damaged they can never be rebuilt. In the Zone Rouge, there are villages that exist only on maps, ghost towns where the French government has officially declared, this place will never be inhabited again. 9 villages in the Verdun sector alone have been classified as destroyed villages. Beaumont, Bézonvaux, Cumières, Douaumont, Fleury, Haumont, Louvemont, Ornes, and Vaux. These weren't just abandoned, they were erased. The bombardment was so intense that archaeologists can't even locate where the village centers once stood. Fleury devant Douaumont changed hands 16 times during the Battle of Verdun. By the war's end, there was nothing left to change hands over. Today, these villages exist as legal entities with mayors who govern empty forests and poisoned fields. They hold memorial services for communities that will never return, maintaining the memory of places where human habitation has been permanently forbidden by the earth itself. Every spring, French farmers across the former Western Front engage in a ritual as predictable as planting season. They collect the Iron Harvest. This is the grim nickname for the unexploded ordnance that frost and rain push up from the depths each year. It's estimated that farmers and construction workers uncover 900 tons of unexploded shells annually. 900 tons every single year, for over a century. The math is staggering. If this rate continues, it will take 700 years to clear all the unexploded ordnance from French soil. But here's the terrifying part. Many of these shells are still live. A farmer in 2019 was killed when a shell he was moving exploded in his barn. In 2014, a construction worker died when his excavator struck a buried artillery round. The war isn't just still killing people, it's killing people who weren't even born when it ended. Each spring harvest brings not just crops but the deadly fruit of humanity's first industrial war. Meet the Demineurs, France's bomb disposal specialists who risk their lives daily to clean up a century-old mess. These aren't just any explosives experts, they're dealing with corroded, unstable munitions that have been slowly degrading underground for over 100 years. The metal casings have weakened, the chemical compounds have become unpredictable, and the fuses, Well, nobody really knows what 100 years of moisture and chemical reaction have done to World War I fuses. Since 1945, over 630 French bomb disposal experts have been killed in the line of duty. That's more than one death every month for nearly 80 years. They're not just defusing bombs, they're playing Russian roulette with chemistry sets designed to kill, now made even more dangerous by a century of decay. Every call could be their last. Every shell they approach could be the one that's been waiting 100 years to complete its original mission, and the calls never stop coming. If unexploded shells weren't terrifying enough, there's something even more insidious lurking in the Zone Rouge: chemical weapons. World War I introduced industrial-scale chemical warfare to human conflict, and those poisons didn't just disappear when the armistice was signed. Mustard gas, in particular, has a half-life that can extend for decades under the right conditions. In 2004, construction workers in Belgium uncovered a cache of mustard gas shells from World War I. The gas was still potent enough to hospitalize several workers. In France's Zone Rouge, there are areas where the soil itself tests positive for chemical weapons residue over a century later. These aren't just historical curiosities, they're active threats. The chemicals can leach into groundwater, contaminate crops, and pose serious health risks to anyone who disturbs the soil. It's a silent, invisible killer that makes the Zone Rouge dangerous in ways that go far beyond exploding shells. Nature has reclaimed much of the Zone Rouge, but it's a twisted kind of recovery. The forests that have grown over the old battlefields aren't normal forests. They're ecosystems built on poison. Trees grow in soil contaminated with heavy metals, their roots intertwining with unexploded ordnance. Wildlife lives among the remnants of humanity's deadliest conflict, and the entire food chain has been subtly altered by over a century of chemical contamination. Studies have shown that plants in the Zone Rouge absorb heavy metals from the soil, concentrating them in their leaves and fruit. Animals that eat these plants carry the contamination up the food chain. It's a slow-motion ecological disaster that continues to unfold with each passing season. The forest looks peaceful, even beautiful, but it's built on a foundation of industrial poison that will persist for centuries. This is what recovery looks like in the Zone Rouge: life finding a way, but life forever changed by the toxic legacy of war. Here's the number that should keep you awake at night: 700 years. That's how long French authorities estimate it will take to fully clear the Zone Rouge of unexploded ordnance and chemical contamination. 7 centuries. We're talking about a cleanup project that will span from now until the year 2724. Think about that. When this project is finally complete, our current civilization will be as distant as the Middle Ages are to us today. The French government spends approximately 50 million euros annually on Zone Rouge cleanup and maintenance. That's over $1 billion every 20 years, stretching into the far future. They've created a bureaucracy dedicated to managing a problem that will outlast every government, every political system, every social structure we can imagine. It's a commitment that transcends human timescales, a promise to future generations that we'll keep cleaning up the mess we made in 4 years of madness over a century ago. So here we are, over 100 years after the war to end all wars, and that war is still claiming victims. Still poisoning the earth, still demanding resources and attention from people who had nothing to do with the conflict that created this mess. The Zone Rouge stands as perhaps the most enduring monument to human destructive capability, a scar on the earth that will outlast empires. This raises a profound question that goes to the heart of how we deal with the consequences of our actions. Should the Zone Rouge be permanently fenced off and left as a forbidden zone, a kind of toxic nature preserve that serves as an eternal warning about the true cost of war? Or should we continue the 700-year cleanup project, spending billions to slowly reclaim every poisoned acre, no matter how long it takes? What do you think? Should we fence off the Zone Rouge forever, or keep fighting to reclaim it? Let me know in the comments below, and if this story opened your eyes to a side of World War I you'd never considered, hit that subscribe button, because history's most important lessons are often the ones we're still living with today.